In this episode, I talk about how to deal with a rebrand and avoid alienating or losing your audience. Welcome to episode 83 of the Honest Entrepreneur Show. My name's Tom Ross, and let's get into it. Guys, little insight into how I'm thinking about business right now for anyone that's interested. But we're doing a lot of kind of auditing, a lot of process stuff, a lot of efficiency stuff. That stuff used to bore the teeth out of me. Don't know if that's an actual expression marker. Bore the teeth out of me. Let's run with it. But yeah, that stuff, like, it used to be the most boring thing in the world to me. It can be weirdly empowering. It's almost like a spring clean of your business. It's something I advise everyone to do, because if you're just blinkered and constantly, just charging forward, you get a lot of inefficiencies along the way. So simply like a cost saving there, a cancelled subscription there, a cancelled newsletter subscription even there to tidy up your inbox. Like, all of these things like incrementally either take up money or time, and time is money in your business. So I'm really feeling like quite liberated when we make a tweak and it's like, wow, that just saved us $5,000 a year in wasted time, or that was a cost we didn't need. And it's just like cleaning everything up piece by piece by piece. And it's weirdly fun. That's how much of a loser I've become with this stuff.
This question is from Caitlin. What's the best way to transition into a new brand without losing your current followers and clients? After 10 years, I'm convinced, thanks to Tom and the tribe, that I need to rebrand. I'm working now on niching down and trying to rebrand based on my audience. The thing is, I don't want to lose those I already have. If I rebrand, especially changing my brand name and look, how do I best make the transition and introduce the new me?
Hey, Caitlin. Wonderful question. I know I say that a lot on this show, but you guys are on fire with the questions, so I appreciate it. I think the answer is communication, to be perfectly honest. The worst thing you want to do is to sweep the rug out from underneath your community and one day be like, ta-da, like it or lump it, here's the new brand. So I think you need to start gradually shifting towards that new brand in some of your content. I think you need to be very open and candid and transparent. They are all values I'm a huge believer in personally, and especially at my company. So anything we're doing like that is going to impact our users, we tell them about it. We give them the courtesy of a heads up, and people generally appreciate that. So I would have that kind of gradual shift start to happen. I would have the over communicating, and then I would actually view it as a positive, not a negative, because it's an excuse for you to have some kind of event or build some buzz around this transition. So after a bit of gradual shifting, you could, when you flick it live with the new logo and perhaps website or whatever else that brand repositioning entails, I would turn that into an event, because it's a wasted opportunity otherwise. And events are fantastic. You can have some kind of live event, do a bunch of Instagram lives, maybe do some live teaching, webinars, use it as a way to build your email list up. I'm a huge fan of launches and events. And I think a brand reframing is a very good time to do that, because you can get people excited, you can build some buzz, you can get them talking about it, you can answer their questions in a live format, and just basically give a little kickstart to that new direction, to that new brand that you're working on. So I would do all those things. And also I would not overthink it, because I don't, off the top of my head, I can't picture your exact business, Caitlin, but unless you are like really like big and established, it's often not as bad as people think. I've seen people where they have like 300 Instagram followers, pretty low engagement. I'm not saying that's you, Caitlin, but making an example here. And they're really worried about going from doing like watercolor paintings to oil paintings in case they lose their whole community. And the fact of the matter is, there's not that much on the line. There's not that much to risk. They don't have a huge loyal audience. They're not making like a ton of money from it. So I think the smaller you are, the less you have to worry. If we did it with our business, given like we've got staff to support, several revenue streams, an established business model, hundreds of thousands of customers, that needs to be handled a little bit differently, because there's a lot on the line. The same way that people are a much bigger order of magnitude than we are, need to handle it very carefully. So when you get huge corporates or conglomerate companies that have big public rebrands, it's under the scrutiny of the whole world and the world's media. They need to do all of this kind of corporate internal reshuffling. Like, that would be an absolute headache. So I would suggest that at your level, nothing is going to be too on fire. You might see that a lot of people actually are happy with the new direction and supportive of you. And if you lose some people along the way, that's not the end of the world, because they're not your people anymore. You've grown, you've changed, you've moved on. Just because they used to like you doing X, if you've grown out of enjoying X and suddenly you're going to go and explore Y, and Y isn't for them, then that's just life. I wouldn't beat yourself up about that, because ultimately you have to be a little bit selfish in this. You can't just pander to something you don't want to be doing anymore. You need to follow your heart. I'm really glad I've been able to help with that, and the tribe's been able to help with that. That's awesome. So I say go attack it, give it your all. And if you're, very over communicating, very passionate about it, then people are going to get wrapped up in that passion as well. And when they see, wow, she's really going after this, good for her, and I'm going to follow her on that new journey, I think that is the way to go. Question of the day: have you ever pivoted on anything? I have dozens of times, whether it's like my client type that I'm trying to reach, or even more recently, I was giving advice for more general entrepreneurs, but I realized I'm talking to a lot of creatives, so I started going more giving advice for creators, and funny enough, stuff is taking off better now. So I'm a huge believer in pivoting. I'd love to know any pivots that you guys have made in your past. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm really enjoying the YouTube show. If you are too, then be sure to hit the subscribe icon and tick the little bell to get notifications when I post new content on this platform.